They believed love was enough. Enough to survive distance. Enough to survive silence. Enough to survive a war. He left believing the hardest part would be staying alive. She stayed believing the hardest part would be waiting. Neither of them expected that the real danger would come after the war was over. This is the story of two people who did everything right and still lost each other. June 1945. The war is over. The ships are coming home, and James Miller is on one of them, staring at the American coastline appearing on the horizon. Home. After 2 years and 9 months. After battles and blood and losing Sam. After 329 letters sent into silence. He's finally going home. To her. He clutches the one letter he received. 2 years old now. Worn thin from being read 1,000 times. Her handwriting. Her words. I'm waiting. I'll always wait. I love you. She's waiting. She promised. He kept his promise too. He survived. He's coming home. Before we begin, if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel for more original, cinematic stories like this one. If you feel this is something your friends might enjoy, sharing it with them is a great way to experience the story together. Your support truly goes a long way, and it helps make more stories like this possible. The ship docks. Other soldiers are met by families. Crying, hugging, kissing, wives throwing themselves into their husbands' arms. Children meeting fathers for the first time. Joy everywhere. James looks through the crowd. She's not there. Of course not. She doesn't know he's arriving today. He'll surprise her. Show up at her door. See her face when she realizes he's alive. He's been dreaming of that moment for 2 years and 9 months. He catches a bus to Mobile. The roads are familiar. The streets unchanged. Like he never left. But he left. And what he saw, what he did, what he lost. Sam's face flashes in his mind. The blood. The dying light in his best friend's eyes. He pushes it away. Not now. Think about Evelyn. Think about home. Think about finally holding her again. The bus drops him at the edge of town. He walks. Duffel bag over his shoulder. Buster's leash in his hand. The dog he left with her. He's coming to get his dog. And his girl. And his life back. Mobile looks exactly the same. The town square. The church. The stores. Like the war never touched this place. Like the world didn't end and restart 1,000 times while he was gone. He walks past the general store where those rich boys mocked him. Past the library where they snuck notes to each other. Past the church where they danced and her father pulled them apart. Every corner holds a memory. Every street corner whispers her name. He turns onto the road to the Carter estate. White columns in the distance. Rose gardens. Old money. Her father's house. The place that tried to keep them apart. But they're together now. Nothing can keep them apart now. He survived a war. He can survive her father. His heart pounds as he walks up the drive. 3 years since he fixed Mrs. Carter's car in that garage. 3 years since Evelyn appeared in the doorway and changed his life forever. It feels like yesterday. It feels like a lifetime ago. He reaches the front door, takes a breath, knocks, footsteps inside. The door opens. Margaret Carter stands there, Evelyn's mother. She sees him. Her face goes white. Her hand flies to her mouth. She knows who he is immediately. Mrs. Carter, James says, I'm sorry to come unannounced. I'm looking for Evelyn. Is she home? Margaret stares at him like she's seeing a ghost. You're alive? She whispers. Oh God, you're alive. Yes, ma'am, James says. I just got back. The war's over. I came as soon as I could. Is Evelyn here? I want to surprise her. Margaret's face crumples. Oh no. Oh no no no. She doesn't live here anymore, she says. James's stomach drops. What? Where did she go? Did something happen? Is she okay? Margaret looks at him with such pain, such guilt, that James feels cold fear crawling up his spine. She's fine, Margaret says quietly. She's with her husband now. The word doesn't register at first. Husband. The word sits in the air between them. Foreign. Impossible. Husband. What? James says. His voice sounds far away. What did you say? Margaret is crying now, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry, she whispers. We thought you were dead. The telegram said missing. For so long. No word. No letters. Nothing. We thought. James can't hear her anymore. The world has gone silent. Husband. Evelyn has a husband. Evelyn is married. The ground tilts beneath his feet. He thinks he might fall. No, he says. No, that's not. She was waiting. She promised she'd wait. She did wait, Margaret says, her voice breaking. For 18 months. She waited and waited. But the telegram came. Missing in action. And then nothing. For months. Nothing. Her father. Robert. The pressure. She thought you were gone, James. She thought you were dead. Where's she? James hears himself ask. The words come from somewhere outside his body. He's floating. Numb. Dead inside. Where does she live? Margaret hesitates. Then writes an address on a piece of paper. Hands it to him with shaking hands. I'm so sorry, she whispers again. I'm so sorry. If we'd known. If she'd known. James takes the paper. Turns. Walks away. He doesn't remember walking down the drive. Doesn't remember turning onto the street. His body moves on its own. Autopilot. Survival mode. The same way he moved through the war. One foot in front of the other. Don't think. Don't feel. Just move. But he has to see her. Has to see it with his own eyes. Has to know if it's real. Maybe Mrs. Carter is mistaken. Maybe she meant something else. Maybe. He looks at the address. The Thompson house. Robert Thompson. The rich boy who never went to war. The one her father wanted her to marry. The one James competed with at that church social 3 years ago. That Robert Thompson. He walks. The address isn't far. A nice neighborhood. Big houses. The kind of houses mechanics don't live in. The kind of houses that can give a woman everything. Security. Stability. Safety. Everything James couldn't offer while he was dying in a frozen forest in Belgium. You find the house. It's beautiful. Large. White. Perfect. A garden in front. Flowers everywhere. The kind of house you raise a family in. The kind of house you grow old in. The kind of house that isn't his. He stands on the sidewalk, staring. Is she really in there? His Evelyn? In another man's house? Wearing another man's ring? Sleeping in another man's bed? He has to know. He has to see. He walks up the path. Up the porch steps. Stand at the door. His hand shakes as he raises it to knock. Everything inside him screams to run. To leave. To not know. But he knocks. Footsteps inside. The door opens. Robert Thompson stands there. Older now. Still clean-cut. Still privileged looking. Still everything James isn't. Robert sees him. Recognition flashes across his face. He knows exactly who James is. James Miller, Robert says quietly. You're alive. James can't speak. Just stares. Robert nods slowly, sadly. Come in, he says. Please. Then James hears it. A sound that stops his heart. Barking. Joyful, desperate barking. And then Buster explodes around the corner. The German shepherd James left behind 3 years ago. The dog recognizes him instantly. Goes absolutely crazy. Jumping. Whining. Licking his hands. Spinning in circles. Pure un filter joy. James drops to his knees. Wraps his arms around the dog. Buster, he whispers. Hey, boy. Hey. The dog is crying. Actually crying. Making sounds James has never heard an animal make. The kind of sounds that mean I thought you were dead. I missed you. You came back. At least someone waited. Robert watches. His face is sad. Understanding. Then he turns toward the interior of the house and calls out. Evelyn, someone's here to see you. Footsteps. Soft. Hesitant. And then she appears at the end of the hallway. Evelyn rose. No. Evelyn Thompson now. She takes 3 steps into view and freezes. She sees him. Her face goes blank. All color drains away. Her mouth opens, but no sound comes out. She's staring like he's not real. Like he's a hallucination. A ghost. A dream. James stands slowly. Buster still pressed against his leg. They stare at each other. 3 years and 9 months since the train station. 3 years and 9 months since her hand slipped from the glass. 3 years and 9 months of letters that never arrived. And now here they are. 5 feet apart. A universe between them. Evelyn's hands start shaking. Her whole body starts shaking. She takes a step forward. Another. Reaching out like she's afraid he'll disappear. James, she whispers. James. Her hands touch his face. His arms. His chest. Like she's checking if he's real. If he's solid. Warm. Alive. You're alive. She breathes. You're alive. Oh God, you're alive. And then she breaks. Completely. Sobs tearing out of her. She's crying so hard she can barely stand. He catches her. Holds her. Feels her shaking in his arms. Her tears soaking into his uniform. The uniform he wore home for her. And that's when he sees it. As she presses against him. As his arms go around her. He sees it. Her stomach. A small curve. Barely there. But there. She's pregnant. The world ends. Again. For the second time in an hour. His arms go slack. He steps back. Looks down at her belly. Up at her face. Back to her belly. No. Evelyn sees where he's looking. Sees his face. Sees him dying inside. Her crying stops. Just like that. Silent. Staring at him. Waiting for him to say something. Anything. Robert clears his throat quietly. I'll give you two some privacy, he says. He disappears into the house. Closes a door somewhere. Leaves them alone. James can't speak. Can't move. Can't think. She's pregnant. She's pregnant with another man's child. With Robert's child. The final proof. The final ending. Not just married. Not just his wife. But carrying his child. Biology. Belmanos. Forever. Let's go outside, Evelyn whispers. Please. We need to talk. She leads him through the house. Robert's house. Through a kitchen James will never cook in. Through a living room James will never sit in. Out to a garden. Beautiful. Private. The kind of garden where families have Sunday dinners. Where children play. Where normal people live normal lives. They stand in the garden. Neither knows how to start. The silence is crushing. 3 years of letters lost. 3 years of words unsaid. And now, face to face, they have no words at all. I thought you were dead, Evelyn finally whispers. The telegram. It said missing. For a year. Nothing. No letters. No word. I thought. I wasn't dead, James says. His voice is flat. Empty. I was writing you. Every day. Every single day. I never got them, she says. I wrote you too. Hundreds of them. James, I never stopped writing. I never. The words hang between them. Neither got the letters. All those words. All that love. Lost. Disappeared into bureaucratic incompetence and her father's cruelty and the chaos of war. 329 letters. 163 letters. Gone. Like they never existed. Missing in action, Evelyn continues. That's all the telegram said. Missing. And then months of nothing. My father. Robert's father. The pressure. Everyone saying you were gone. That I needed to move on. That I was destroying my life, waiting for a ghost. I was lost for 3 days, James says. 3 days. Separated from my unit during a German push. I made it back. Filed a report. Told them I was alive. But the telegram was already sent. 3 days, Evelyn whispers. 3 days cost us everything. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. How's Sam? Evelyn asks, trying to change the subject. Try to think of something, anything else. James's face goes darker. Sam's dead. Evelyn's hand flies to her mouth. No. Oh God. No. Battle of the Bulge, James says. Last winter. Mortar attack. He pushed me out of the way. Took the blast himself. Died in my arms. Made me promise to come home to you. His voice cracks on the last words. Evelyn is crying again. I'm so sorry. James, I'm so sorry. He's quiet for a long time. Then, everyone's sorry. But sorry doesn't change anything, does it? More silence. She looks at her hands. At the ring on her finger. Gold. Not the one James couldn't afford to give her. The one Robert could. I waited 18 months, she says quietly. 18 months of silence. The telegram. My father said you weren't coming back. Robert was there. He was kind, patient. And I was so tired, James. So tired of waiting. So tired of hoping. So tired of checking the mail every day and getting nothing. So you married him, James says. It's not an accusation, just a statement. A fact. What was I supposed to do? She asks. Do you waiting? I thought you were dead. Or captured. Or never coming back. I thought. You were supposed to wait, James says. The words come out harder than he means them. You promised you'd wait. I did wait. She says, her voice rising. For 18 months. How long was I supposed to wait for a ghost? Forever, James says simply. I would have waited forever. The words hit her like a slap. Because it's true. He would have. He did. 3 years. Through hell. Writing letters no one read. Surviving for a promise she didn't keep. I'm sorry, she whispers. James, I'm so sorry. If I'd known. If I'd gotten even one letter. Just one. I would have waited. I swear I would have. But you didn't get them, James says. And now you're married. And pregnant. He looks at her belly again. With his child. Yes, she says. Her voice breaks. Yes. How far along? For months. The math is simple. 4 months pregnant. Married in March. She's been married to Robert for 3 months. Been in his bed. Been his wife. Been building a life without James. While James was processing out of the military. While James was on a ship home. While James was dreaming of reunion. She was pregnant with another man's child. Come with me, Evelyn says suddenly, desperately. Leave with me. Right now. We can go. California. Like you said. Open a garage. Start over. We can. James stops her. You're pregnant. I don't care. I do. You're carrying his child, Evelyn. His child. I won't. I can't. James shakes his head. I won't be the man who takes another man's wife and child away from him. I don't love him, Evelyn says, grabbing his arms. I love you. I've always loved you. I never stopped. But you married him, and you're carrying his child. That's permanent. Only if we let it be. No, James says firmly. No, it's permanent because it's real. You're his wife. That baby is his son or daughter. I won't destroy that. I won't live with that guilt. I've got enough guilt to last me a lifetime. Evelyn is shaking her head, crying. No, no, James, please. We can figure this out. We can. There's nothing to figure out, James says. His voice is gentle now. Sad. Final. You made your choice. You survived. I don't blame you for that. It wasn't a choice. It was surrender. Maybe. But you still did it. And now there's a child. And I won't. I can't. James looks away. Can't look at her. If he looks at her, he'll break. I survived a war, Evelyn. I watched my best friend die. I killed men. I saw things that will haunt me until the day I die. But I survived because I thought I was coming home to you. That was the only thing that kept me alive. I'm right here, she says. I'm right here. No, he says. You're not. You're his wife. You're carrying his child. The Evelyn I was coming home to. She doesn't exist anymore. She's crying so hard now, she can barely breathe. So what? We just... What? Say goodbye? After everything? What else is there? There's a long, horrible silence. How did the letters not get through? Evelyn finally asks. How do we lose each other? James tells her. About the overwhelmed military postal system. About mail lost and destroyed. About bureaucracy and chaos. And then he tells her the worst part. Your mother said something. Before I came here. She said they thought I was dead because there were no letters. But I think... He pauses. I think your father stopped at least one from reaching you. Evelyn closes her eyes. Of course he did. Of course. The system failed us, James says. Your father failed us. Timing failed us. Everything failed us. They sit in silence. Two people who loved each other more than anything. Two people destroyed by silence and circumstance and time. Evelyn reaches into her pocket, pulls out something small, brass, worn, opens her hand. The pocket watch. His grandfather's pocket watch. The one he gave her 3 years ago. The promise. Wait for me. I'll come back. You kept it, James whispers. Every day, she says. Every single day. I carried it with me. I looked at your picture inside. I kept my promise, James. I waited. As long as I could. Until I couldn't anymore. She holds it out to him. He stares at it. His grandfather's watch. The symbol of his promise. The promise he kept. The promise that didn't matter. He takes it, opens it. Her photograph is still inside. Young, smiling, hopeful, before the war, before the silence, before everything broke. He closes it, puts it in his pocket. Thank you, he says quietly, for keeping it safe. They stand there. Nothing left to say. Everything said. Everything lost. Evelyn moves toward him, slowly, reaches for him. He doesn't stop her. She wraps her arms around him, buries her face in his chest, cries, deep, wrenching sobs that tear out of her. The kind of crying that comes from losing something you'll never get back. James holds her, one last time, his arms around her, her tears soaking through his uniform. He closes his eyes, memorizes this. The weight of her, the smell of her hair, the sound of her breathing. This is goodbye. This is the end. This is all they get. I'm sorry, she whispers into his chest. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry too, he says. His voice breaks. I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry I couldn't come back sooner. I'm sorry the letters didn't reach you. I'm sorry I couldn't save us. They hold each other. Minutes pass. Maybe hours. Time doesn't matter anymore. Finally, Evelyn pulls back, looks up at him. Her face is destroyed, red, swollen, tears still streaming. Goodbye, James, she whispers. Goodbye, Evelyn, he says. They stare at each other. One last look, memorizing. Then James steps back, calls for Buster. The dog comes immediately, sits at his feet, ready to go wherever James goes. Evelyn kneels down, hugs the dog. Buster licks her face. She's crying again. Take care of him, she whispers. I will, James says. She stands, steps back, wraps her arms around herself, like she's trying to hold herself together. James turns, starts walking. Buster follows. They walk through the garden, through the gate, onto the street. James doesn't look back. If he looks back, he won't be able to leave. So he keeps walking, one foot in front of the other, the way he walked through the war, the way he'll walk through the rest of his life. Behind him, Evelyn stands in the garden, hand on her belly, watching him disappear. She stands there long after he's gone, long after the street is empty. Just stands there, crying silently. Robert appears in the doorway, sees her, says nothing, just waits. Eventually, she turns, walks back into the house, into her life, the life without James. James walks through Mobile, down streets he used to know, past places that used to matter. Everything looks the same, but nothing is the same. Nothing will ever be the same. He reaches the edge of town, keeps walking. He's not staying here, can't stay here. Too many ghosts, too many memories, too much pain in every corner. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out the watch, opens it. Her face looks back at him, young, happy, in love. He stares at it for a long moment, then closes it, puts it back in his pocket. He'll keep it, not because it means she's waiting, but because it's all he has left of what they were. Buster walks beside him, loyal, constant, the only promise that was kept. They walk, away from Mobile, away from Evelyn, away from everything, toward nothing, toward somewhere else, toward a life James will have to build from scratch. Without her, without the future he dreamed of for 3 years, without anything but the dog and the memories and the guilt that will follow him forever. The sun sets behind them. The road stretches ahead, empty, unknown. James Miller left Mobile that day. He never returned. 3 months later, Evelyn gave birth to a daughter. She named her Margaret, after her mother. The only person who understood what it felt like to love someone you couldn't have. Robert was a good father, a good husband. He never asked about James Miller, never asked about the pocket watch Evelyn kept hidden in her drawer, never asked why she sometimes stared out the window like she was waiting for something that would never come. Evelyn lived a good life, a safe life, a stable life. But some part of her stayed in that garden. Some part of her stayed 22 years old. Some part of her never stopped waiting. James Miller settled in a small town in California, opened a garage, fixed cars, lived quietly, never married, never tried. Some men love once, and that's all they get. He was one of them. He kept the pocket watch for the rest of his life. Opened it sometimes, late at night, when the war nightmares woke him, when the loneliness got too heavy. looked at her face. Young, smiling, before everything broke. Two people, one love, destroyed by silence, by war, by time, by letters that never arrived. They both survived, but neither of them really lived. Some loves don't end. They just become something you carry. Like shrapnel, like scars, like ghosts, forever.
And that brings us to the end of today's story. If you enjoyed watching, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more original stories like this. You're welcome to leave a comment and share your thoughts, or let us know where you're watching from. Thank you for spending your time here.